I'm Kalman Kervi and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. Basically this one will be for people who are starting out at a new corporation or a giant company. This video is sort of a continuation of the how not to get on the nerves of your colleagues, which had a part one earlier. This will be the second part for that. This one goes more into the nitty-gritty, especially the gritty and grimy part of it, because there are a few things that would be kind of obvious for a lot of people, like really evident, and you wouldn't need special notification about, but there are a lot of people, and this is based solely on my personal experience in these companies, who need really strong reminders about things like hygiene and taking care of your environment and not being a biological hazard, basically. So, getting into it, in general, in these places you have to remember that you're closed in with dozens and dozens of people. Sometimes you're sitting so close to people that when you turn to the side, your knee already bumps into the person. Some of these places have really bad layouts, and you are quite literally pushed into a sardine can with other people. So hygiene is really, really important to make life less miserable in these places. Basically, one of my advices and what I followed: take a shower before going to work. Everyone gets a bit, let's say, ripe at the end of the shift, but there's a gigantic difference between I just got sweaty from work and 3 days old grime got re-soaked under my limbs. People can smell the difference and they will avoid you. You wouldn't believe what happens in these office environments. You would think that everyone is in suits and ties and everyone's clean and fresh and all that. No. There are people, and in my experience, sometimes the most well-dressed people, like the really, you see them on the street, oh, that's a really well-dressed businessman. They are reeking. It's like, I don't know what they are doing right before work or what's happening there, or they just don't have water where they live. But it's a mind-opening experience to see this, to perceive and smell what's going on in these places. So yeah, hygiene is really important, and it can be really distracting if someone sits next to you who you can smell they haven't touched water for several days, especially in the summer. Okay, now as a continuation of this, clean clothes every day. Don't smell your shirt and, oh, this will be fine. No, the smell that's kind of fine for you is definitely not fine for your colleagues. You might think it's acceptable, but people can smell the difference, and it can get really awkward when someone goes to your table, leans next to you to ask a question, and they just pull back. You really don't want to end up in a situation like that, and you don't want to be on either end of that situation. The next one should be kind of self-exemplatory and obvious for everyone, but believe me, it's not. Wash your hands. Yeah, it's that basic. Wash your hands. Actually, if this is obvious for you, then I adore you. I really adore you, and you have my fullest respect, because having spent all these years at these companies where I had hundreds of people running around me, you wouldn't believe the ratio of people who don't like to touch the taps in the toilet rooms. Basically, I had to witness on a regular basis how people doing a number one, or in some cases doing a number two, just walked by the sink and not even look at it, and they just go out and spread whatever they are spreading. Especially after these times regarding a certain viral event going on, yeah, washing your hands is like really should be basic. Now, just as the most extreme example of this, in one of my earlier workplaces, I was in the washroom or toilet room to say, and one of the colleagues walked out of the stall. Well, from judging from the smell, obviously from a number 2 activity, stood by the sink, did not get any water, did not open the tap or anything. He just adjusted a few locks of hair on his forehead, checked himself in the mirror, and walked out. And yeah, for me that was kind of shocking, because no soap or water or towel was touched by him that day. Of course, after this, he was really eager to touch door handles, cubicle walls, tables, hands, and the various body parts of female colleagues, like being flirty and being the cool guy and all that. And I had trouble keeping my lunch down watching this, and yeah. So, no, don't do this. Wash your hands. And also, since if you look into the science of it, one of the primary sources of infection is carried by touch. Not just coughing on people or anything like that, but actually touching things and then smearing it in your eyes or on your face or in your mouth with eating with unwashed hands. So keeping your hands clean is not just protecting your health, but the health of the people around you. So you're not a biological hazard to them, basically. Also, in some cases, it's useful to have a bit of hand sanitizer on your desk. During work, you will touch your eyes, wiping off your tears. You will be touching your face when you're face palming yourself, or when you bury your face in your hands trying to block out the outside world, because that's kind of the environment you get into when you go into a call center or IT support and things like that. There will be situations which will just make you go, yeah. So the next one, noise. Loud music. Listening to loud music at the workplace will get you fired very, very quickly. I mean, really quickly. Any kind of boombox or loud source of music is a big no-no, so don't even expect anyone to be friendly with you after using something like that. Get headphones. Even if you get just these small ones, like really simple things, get them and use them at the workplace, because otherwise you will annoy everyone, and people around you have to work on the phone. They have to be able to hear what the other side is saying, what the caller is saying, and sometimes these calls are coming from quite literally the other side of the planet. So when you're sitting in, I don't know, let's say London, and you're trying to listen to someone who's calling you from Bangladesh, that's not going to be simple. There will be delays, there will be crackling. Although the telecommunication systems are being upgraded constantly, it's not something that happens like this for the entire planet. So a lot of people will have issues with this. So the next one would be, after noise, your own speech. Basically, as a primary rule, do not shout, do not scream or raise your voice in any manner. This is not the place for it. Anger and frustration will be a different subject in a different video, so we're just talking now about the general communication. In a call center, the microphone is like an inch away from your mouth, like 2 centimeters. You do not need to shout at it. They will hear you when you're talking with a normal volume. If the caller complains that they cannot hear you, they cannot hear you properly, then readjust your mic, check the system settings and the connections. And if all has been checked and this issue is still there, then file a complaint to management and say that something is wrong with the communication system, either with the hardware or with the software, but they need to check it, and they will arrange the check and hopefully find the problem and fix it. So in general communication over the phone or the headset or any communication system that you're using, try to find a tone that carries your voice clearly without shouting. So you don't have to strain your throat, but you do need to be audible for the user. And loud communication is not clear communication. So if they have a bit of trouble understanding you, then try to speak more clearly. Don't raise your voice, because volume is not the problem. Something is misunderstood, especially in spelling things. So basically, do not forget that the people around you are trying to do the same job. They need to be able to hear their own clients on the phone. And if you generally talk loud, the "I'm not capable of talking more quietly" is not an acceptable excuse. We did have colleagues like that. They were not really liked, because actually with these people, usually they might need to check their ego along with their volume, because there are some personality issues when they claim they just simply cannot talk more quietly. That's not true. You can, you just don't want to, because you want to be the center of attention. So whatever. Okay. Now, so articulate and don't shout. Basically, that would be it for how to not annoy, how not to get on the nerves of your colleagues, part 2. There will be a third part, because I seem to have had a lot of trouble with my colleagues over the years, writing down my experiences. I think there will be another video about this. So, if you like the content, then please like. If you're interested in more of this content, then please subscribe. If you think there's someone who would like these videos or would benefit from them, then share the video link with them. And you can also support me via Patreon, link in the description, or by buying any of my stuff on Redbubble or on Amazon. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks. Bye.